Susan and Gail.
Hi, Cindy. Hi, Stan.
Hello, Lynn and Lex.
Hello, Mary Kay.
Hi, Rhea and Clark.
Hi, Ken and Packard company members.
Hi to all of the ARCS Foundation Seattle chapter donors.
Hello, Carmen. My name's Tanisha Jones, and I go by Tay. And this is my cat, Miyazaki.
Hello, Alden and Charles. It is so exciting that I get to connect with you.
My name is Emily, and I grew up in Tucson, Arizona.
My name is Nathan Chung. From the Dominican Republic. I moved to the U.S. After high school for college, where I attended UCLA and got my bachelor's in applied mathematics.
My name is Andrew Mullen. I grew up in Rochester, New York, and did my bachelor's and master's in electrical engineering and computer science at MIT.
My name is Ariel Scott, and I'm from Mobile, Alabama. I recently graduated from Howard University with a chemical engineering degree.
I'm very excited to be finally returning to the West Coast after spending the last 6 years in New England. First doing my undergrad at Brown, and then for the last couple of years, I've been working as a software engineer in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
My name is Kirsten Melteson, and I just graduated from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities with my Bachelor's of Science in Ecology, Evolution, and Behavior. And I also have minors in Anthropology and Earth Science.
I'm from Columbia, Maryland, and I received my bachelor's degree this past May in computer science from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County as a first-generation college student.
I just finished up my undergraduate degree at Cornell University, studying mathematics and physics with a concentration in astronomy.
I went to undergrad at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, go Heels, where I just graduated this last May and earned a bachelor's degree in chemistry and a minor in German.
I am Cherokee, and my Native American family raised me to understand the value and importance of caring for all of our non-human brothers and sisters. And this worldview has heavily influenced my graduate research interests.
I went to Yale University for my undergraduate education. I got my undergraduate degree in molecular biophysics and biochemistry, got to spend some time in China, traveling the world, and afterwards spent about a year in Colombia, hanging out with grandma, learning to salsa dance and performing around the country. I'm a really big salsa dancer.
My name is Sydney Florianzia, and I'm an incoming chemical engineering PhD student at the University of Washington.
I'm Alexander Galarraga. I graduated from Swarthmore College with a BA in Math and Computer Science, and I'm entering here at UW as a PhD student in the Math department.
This September, I will be attending UW and joining the William E. Boeing Department of Aeronautics and Astronautics.
I'm going to be joining the Molecular and Cell Biology program because I'm just really interested in how cells communicate with each other and how they modulate their environment in healthy tissue, but also in disease.
I'll be joining UW's Biostatistics department. My current research interests include infectious disease modeling, spatial statistics, and machine learning. And I'm particularly interested in improving healthcare systems for vulnerable populations.
So broadly speaking, I'm studying viruses in the immune system. So specifically, I'm studying the antibody response against SARS-CoV-2, and I'm also working on several projects related to the Zika virus.
I'll be joining the UW in the fall to begin working on my PhD in nursing, and I currently work at Kaiser Permanente, Washington.
Here at the University of Washington, I'll be joining the Department of Molecular and Cell Biology, and I'll be conducting research in Dr. Robert Bradley's lab at Fred Hutch.
My graduate research addresses the challenge of vascularizing kidney organoids in vitro to produce more accurate models of human physiology, and also to understand the factors required to engineer tissues outside of the human body.
In addition to researching, I also discovered that I really enjoy participating in organizing public outreach events. I think it's extremely important that research is not only performed in astronomy and any of the sciences, but that we also relay that to the public and that everybody has a chance to understand what we are doing as scientists.
So this fall, I will be joining the Earth and Space Sciences Department to pursue my PhD in Structural Petrology, which is kind of the study of how rocks deform at depth.
I'm currently in the MD PhD program at the University of Washington and just finished my first 2 years of medical school. I've begun my PhD in the computer science department. Specifically, I try to apply editing tools like CRISPR to record information in cells that previously could not be measured.
I'm at the early stages of determining what my PhD will focus on, but I know that generally I'll be researching how climate change impacts carnivore behavior in Botswana's Okavango Delta, probably focusing on wild dogs and maybe on lions, and then how these dynamics might in turn impact human-wildlife conflict.
I'm currently in Seattle, where I will be starting my first year as a PhD student in computer science and engineering at the University of Washington. My research interests are in designing and developing inclusive and assistive technology to both empower and improve the quality of life for individuals with disabilities.
I am super excited to be joining the CSE department of UW to collaborate with Professor Jamie Morgenstern, Professor Kevin Jameson, as well as the other great faculty and students at UW.
Choosing a graduate program wasn't easy at first, but I soon came to a realization that UW's School of Aquatic and Fishery Science really offers a top-notch program, and your generous fellowship played a major role in confidently committing to it.
I decided I wanted my PhD when I was 8 years old, knowing already then that I wanted to be a research scientist. I'm fortunate that my family has always been very supportive of that dream. I've always strived to make the world a little better where I can, and it seems to me that through research and as an ecologist, I may be best able to do that.
I decided to pursue a PhD after spending 3 years doing HIV and more recently COVID research at the University of California, San Francisco in the context of community health initiatives. I'm super excited to use numbers and data to improve public health.
What really inspired me to pursue a PhD is understanding the background that I come from. Although I was born in Ohio, my parents immigrated to the United States in the mid-90s from a third world country in East Africa known as Somalia. Pursuing a PhD and earning a PhD, it provides me with the platform to become a world-class researcher, to serve communities like those in Somalia on both a local level as well as a global one.
The inspiration for me to pursue this line of research is that I want to make AI understandable so that scientists from different fields as well as machine learning practitioners can gain more insights for their decision makings so that their fields can be advanced as well.
I was inspired to pursue my PhD just after having several really great research experiences working in infectious disease and deciding that I wanted to spend the rest of my life doing this. And obviously there will always be a lot of important work to do in the field of infectious disease. So I'll always have work.
One of the reasons I wanted to pursue a PhD is, of course, because climate science right now feels particularly relevant and a generational issue, and it's something that I really enjoy working on.
There are a few things that inspired me to pursue a PhD. For a long time, I've wanted to be a professor. I combined the love of teaching that I inherited from my parents with my desire to understand things at a deeper level.
After seeing how cool it is to be able to go from bench to bedside and back to the bench and have this awesome cycle of medicine to research and back to medicine, I got really excited about applying to MD PhD programs and decided to come here to the University of Washington to study an MD PhD with a PhD in epidemiology. In terms of what I'm actually doing for my PhD, I'm doing infectious disease epidemiology, which is kind of topical at the moment. So I will be joining the lab of Trevor Bedford, and we use genomic tools to help track infectious disease outbreaks and kind of uncover hidden chains of transmissions that you otherwise can't find using traditional epidemiological methods.
I chose to pursue a PhD for two main reasons. One was I completed an internship at the Fred Hutch Cancer Research Center, and my mentor, after the completion of the internship, prompted me to pursue a PhD, and she gave me that confidence and instilled that in me. And the second reason is, my dad, you can see him here, a 20-year vet. About 6 weeks before graduation, my dad suddenly passed away, and my dad was a person who was taking about 15 medications per day because he was dealing with multiple comorbidities and still not prolong his life. And so I wanted to use my economics training, public health background to essentially assess the net benefit of these technologies.
My interest in this subject started when I was in high school,
when I visited my family directly following Typhoon Haiyan. We ended up visiting them after finding out that they were okay. And I remember getting off the plane and just thinking, how could this happen? And that became really central to my research, actually, when I started studying tropical meteorology. And I really enjoy this. I enjoy the science of it. I enjoy the fluid dynamics.
So as far as future plans are concerned, after I'm finished with graduate school, I'm likely going to try and enter industry as a research scientist or subject matter expert. That being said, I'm also open to the idea of a career in academia if the right opportunity comes along.
My eventual goals are developing and commercializing drugs for the brain and developing methods of preserving and later testing drug quality, potency, and efficacy post large-scale production. So that would be kind of where I see the blood-brain barrier model research ending up. I'll have experience on both sides of research and manufacturing to work to close the laboratory to fabrication gap, which is called the lab to fab gap, which basically describes how we have a lot of things that work at the benchtop, but not a lot of options at the market right now. So that's something that I kind of want to work to close in my career.
After I graduate, my goal is definitely to have my own lab. I've got to get through a few more years of school and then do some med school residency. But long term, I definitely am hoping to be faculty and hopefully in Washington.
Upon completion of my PhD, I plan to return to an industry lab as a research scientist so that I can leverage my PhD training to directly make an impact on society.
I've always dreamed of going into academia. More and more, however, I'm considering other options for after grad school. I want to contribute to the fight against climate change, so working in industry is also really interesting to me.
After graduate school, I'll return to the last 2 years of medical school to complete my clinical rotations. Then, I intend to complete a medical residency and search for a position that will allow me to balance my clinical practice and research in a way that best fits what I'm doing at the time.
I think post-grad school, I think what I really would like to do is to go into the industry side of research and perhaps work for some biotech company or some pharmaceutical company, just kind of these more clinically relevant application sides of chemistry is what I'm really interested in.
After UW, I see myself pursuing postdoctoral opportunities at the interface of mathematics and climate science, and then trying to get a faculty position at an institution, which would allow me to combine my love of research with my love of teaching.
After graduate school, I would like to continue pursuing human-computer interaction research, specifically fabricating technology to assist individuals with completing everyday tasks. And my hope is that through the technology I create, it empowers individuals to embrace their differences and allow them to feel confident while using such devices.
So after graduate school, my long-term career goals are to become a faculty at an academic medical center as a physician scientist. So I'm hoping to split my time between clinical work and ultimately being a private investigator and running my own lab. So the type of research I hope to continue to do is systems level neuroscience research, but I would hope to make it even more translational into the understanding of the basis and treatment of neuropsychiatric disorders. And while I'm unsure of which clinical specialty I want to do, some of the top ones for me are neurology, anesthesiology, and psychiatry. I remain very interested in those.
After my graduate studies, I really hope to be able to transition to industry so I can continue to work on complex and difficult problems, but with a product-centered mindset rather than academic-centered mindset in order to create that impactful change I really want to see in the world.
I hope to become a physician scientist working at the intersection of bench and bedside. How I envision this is by splitting my time between running a research group that investigates molecular mechanisms of cancer and also treating patients in a clinical setting.
After graduate school, I plan to continue to work as a pharmaceutical researcher in industry. Right now, I do not know in what specialization. I love to read and learn. I'm currently trying to become financially literate, so much of my reading materials consist of accounting, real estate, and the stock market.
After the program, I hope to go into academia. I'm excited to teach and, do for my future hopeful students what my professors have done for me and kind of get rid of this fear that people seem to have for mathematics.
After earning my PhD, I hope to conduct forest restoration research in collaboration with tribal communities in the US and in Latin America, working to support indigenous needs, goals, and plans for the future while healing the landscape.
I hope to, after getting my PhD, to continue doing research in the health space so that I can make health and having a healthier lifestyle easier and more tangible for everyone, because regardless of your race, religion, your socioeconomic status, or even the country you're born in, you deserve to live a healthy life.
Some of the stuff that I really like doing for fun is climbing and hiking, backpacking, and essentially anything in the outdoors. I was fortunate enough to be on the Stanford climbing team as an undergraduate, and I actually have my climbing shoes here because I'll be going a little bit later today.
During my free time, I enjoy running, reading mystery novels, and spending time with my Chihuahua family and friends.
But away from all those sciencey things, I love to play volleyball, indoor and beach volleyball. I've actually been playing for 15 years, and I was recruited and played for my university team.
For fun outside of math, I also enjoy playing the trumpet. In my undergrad, I was in the quote-unquote marching band. I put it in quotes because we didn't actually march. But I'm hoping to join maybe a wind ensemble or an orchestra at UW.
I love to be outside and at the beach and hiking in nature. I also really like making art with my mom. She's a mosaic artist. She actually made me this necklace, and I made this mosaic of Iceland in the background here after a wonderful trip.
I'm really into yarn crafts, so I've been doing a lot of knitting, especially since COVID started. This is my most recent project. It was a quick little hat because quick projects are really where I'm at right now with school.
I really enjoy spending time with my friends and family. I also really like reading and playing ultimate frisbee.
Outside of career stuff and career planning, which tends to take up a lot of time, I am a music producer. I'm part of a music collective, which is what this chain is.
I really want to thank the arts community for giving me this opportunity to pursue my dream, to continue to be a lifelong learner, continue my education at a prestigious institution such as the University of Washington.
The ARCS Fellowship is really important to me, and it heavily influenced my decision to come to UW.
I'm so excited to get to know you over the course of this fellowship and beyond. Being an ARCS Fellow will be vital to completing my field seasons here in Botswana, helping me to acquire a research vehicle and other necessary equipment that underpins the success of data collection here. And I'm also excited to expand my network of amazing people that I can learn from and share my research with.
It seems like an amazing group of scholars, and I'm so excited to have such an amazing group accepting me when I arrive in a totally new place. I think the opportunities that will offer me are unparalleled, and I am just so grateful that you made this possible. Thank you.
UW was a really great offer because it fit my research interests as well as where I wanted to be lifestyle-wise. But I still am not 100% sure that I would have went with UW if it weren't for ARCS. I weighed it as both a financial benefit, which I cannot thank you enough for, but also an opportunity to build community with other students, but also with people like you who are obviously passionate and believe in science and research, and that means so much to me, and I'm so happy to have found this space.
ARCS is really important for this. It symbolizes hope and faith for people in me. I never thought someone like me would be able to do something like this. I never thought I'd be on this path. And just knowing that people are on my team and have the faith to believe that I can succeed and financially back me in this endeavor, it just really pushes me to hope that I can live up to those expectations, and it's a drive that I will continue to have.
Being an ARCS and PACCAR Fellow played an important role in my decision to attend the University of Washington, both for the financial support but also for the industry connections that this provides. It's really an invaluable opportunity to be able to share a little bit about myself and to hopefully form some lasting connections between what industry needs and what is currently being worked on at the academic level.
Receiving the ARCS Fellowship is such an honor and further validates that my efforts as a budding scientist have been well worth it and are recognized. Beyond the intrinsic meaning and value in receiving the fellowship, the financial aid is deeply appreciated.
I just want to say thank you to you all, Nancy and Douglas and Kristen, for your generosity in supporting mine and others' graduate education. The support is really invaluable in allowing me to further my education and build my skill set. I hope to use what I learned in the next few years to eventually pursue a career in public health. So from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to say thank you.
It's a real nice sense of validation to know that there are people that understand that the journey ahead is an arduous one, and that they're willing to provide financial support. It's also a good feeling to know that there's not only financial support being provided, but also moral support, knowing that people like yourselves, Bill and Susan, are willing to aid the next generation of researchers and scholars.
The ARCS Fellowship and the community really mean a lot to me, and your support really does mean a lot to me as well. It shows me that somebody in some community cares about the future of scientific development and also the development of the next generation of young scientists. And it reminds me that I'm not alone in this journey to finish and complete my PhD, but there's someone supporting me and there's a community supporting me as well.
ARCS means so much to me because paleontology is not your average career path. It is really one of my passions, and I am so grateful that I am being given the privilege to pursue my passion as a career. Not everyone gets to do that.
I'm extremely humbled and grateful for the ARCS Fellowship. I really can't thank you enough, Mary Kay, as well as the Seattle ARCS Foundation more broadly, for supporting myself and so many other brilliant scholars as we delve into our respective research fields.
I just want to thank you guys again for the opportunity to really flesh out a new life here and explore, the bounds of my science, the bounds of my medicine, and the bounds of my life out here. And I look forward to meeting you guys soon. I hope you guys are faring well.
Once again, I can't thank you enough. I hope we get to meet soon in person when we get through this pandemic.
I'm really excited to get to know you guys better and develop this relationship a little bit more, because I would love to just show you how grateful I am for this opportunity and how much this ARCS Fellowship does mean to me.
I'm looking forward to meeting everyone who's a part of this ARCS Fellowship and ARCS Chapter in Seattle. Once again, thank you so much. I'm excited to start my PhD program. I'm excited to meet you guys, and hopefully that'll happen soon. Thank you so much.
Welcome to my room in Seattle. I got an air mattress on the floor, but I made it. Thank you very much to all the donors, and good night.
All in all, receiving the ARCS Fellowship means so much to me as a young scientist, because it's just some confirmation that the ideas that I am excited by are actually worth pursuing and exciting to others. I'm so thrilled to join this new community of scholars and continue to put new science in the world, all for the goal of helping people all around the world. So thank you again to the ARCS Foundation and to the entire Washington Research Foundation for this fellowship. I look forward to seeing you all in the future.